Yo, what's up, people? I'm your host, Jay Will, and I would like to welcome you to Inspire God's People, where we balance faith and business to guide you to your purpose. This is episode 248, Breaking the Chains of Poverty. Yeah, we're going to get into a real dope conversation about breaking the chains of poverty. And let me make sure my sound is good. Yeah, all right, we good. I should have checked that before we started, but I figure better late than never. All right, I want to talk to y'all about breaking the chains of poverty. This is important to me because of where I'm from, you know what I'm saying, and where my journey started in life. I've always had a heart for the people who could relate to where I come from. Maybe you come from somewhere different, as far as like proximity, neighborhood wise, but you might still be able to relate to the idea of having really bad financial habits. Maybe you just didn't learn. You don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to look down on you or blame you. I have my own journey in learning how to manage finances and how to become educated. And so, because I come from poverty, I understand really in depth the details of poverty. And today we're going to start breaking some of those chains. Now, what's my motivation? Let me just first say this. I'm a Christian. I'm a Bible believer. I am not a person that thinks money is everything or the world revolves around money or once you get a couple dollars, your life is going to just, magically be perfect. No, this ain't a salvation episode because making money ain't going to get you into heaven. But here's a stinger. Neither is being broke. So here's something that I've learned, growing up in the Black Christian community as I did from the inner city. We only like to talk about money in toxic and unhealthy ways. So it's cool to show up, with your new car or yo dress like a Gucci mannequin and show off and talk about what you got. Like that's cool. We don't frown upon that. Let's just be real. This episode is gonna sting because I'm trying to challenge our thinking. You feel what I'm saying? It's okay to do that. It's okay to stun on each other. Like, yo, I post the picture of my material things that I have, never teach you how to get it, never like actually share any strategic or educational tools and resources and like how you can get it. Like it's so cool. Even in church, it's okay. I can talk. It's okay even in church for me to show up and stunt on you. But for some reason in this community, it is frowned upon if you actually try to educate people. Because, oh, who do you think you are? You think you better than me. You think that, like, I hear every now and then certain things people say about you get back to you, right? So I'm aware of some of the things that people might say or think about me. I try to be a self-aware person in general. And sometimes it's interesting to me because it's like, well, all right, would it be better if I just went and worked to try to get my own level of success, whatever level that is? I'm not claiming to be the most successful person ever. This ain't about that. But it's about saying that, yo, if I walk 25 feet and I look back and my brothers and my sisters and my family and my friends and my community is still 25 feet behind me. No, I'm not saying I'm 1,000 feet ahead. I'm not saying I'm whatever, but would it be better for me to leave you than to reach back and share with you how I made it to 25 feet? So that's my thing. That's what this episode is about. It's about saying, like, yo, we're going to break the chains of poverty because we have to learn to talk about finances from a healthy perspective. So here's point number one. This is going to sting. Rappers, celebrities, and athletes have literally corrupted the way we think about finances, right? So we have uplifted these people who, and let me just say this, I'm not saying rappers, athletes, and celebrities are all evil or bad or that is their fault. So listen to me, hear me out. What I'm saying is that in the community where I come from, it begins to be sold to you at a young age that you need to play a sport or you need to be an entertainer. Like kids can dance like crazy before they know how to do math. So I remember hearing people say, "Oh, you don't need math. When you gonna need that?" But you teaching them five of the latest dances. It's like when you gonna need that? And what happens is it's this allure of the things that get fed to us of like these rappers that we want to be like and that we admire and they dress like Louis Vuitton mannequins and they pull up in the community in nice cars and chains and all these things. And it's like, okay, cool. No shade, nothing against that. But here's my problem. First and foremost, the chances of us successfully making it in these areas of life is low. I know nobody want to hear it. This is not about me telling you don't go after your dreams. This is not about telling you that you can't be successful or give up on everything. It's about being real. Like, when can we just be real? This is my whole thing with everybody. And this is from somebody, trust me. I've tried it all. I've rapped, hooped, failed at all of it. You know what I'm saying? I've done all of the things that we chase doing that is really hard. And I'm gonna tell you, like with basketball as an example, with athletics, and I know y'all know the numbers, I know y'all are aware, like it's like 450 people in the NBA. So any given year, and LeBron been in it for 20 years, you got Steph been in it for 15, 16, KD. So that means job openings aren't happening every year. There's about 100 and something job openings, and you got 10,000 kids trying to get 100 jobs. That means 9,900 of y'all ain't getting it. And I'm not going to call those people failures, right? Because they made it somewhere in life. This ain't about talking down on nobody. This is about being realistic and saying we have grown up with the idea that the only way you can make it in life is to be a rapper, an entertainer, or an athlete. And we only tell the success story. We never tell the failure stories. So here's the problem. We hear the success stories again, and again. Steve Harvey slept in a car and said he had no plan B. Tyler Perry was homeless and Listen, that amazing. From the standpoint of talking about finances and overcoming obstacles, simply amazing. But here's the thing. Nobody tells the story of the 9,000 Tyler Perrys that slept in their car and put all their money into their play, and it didn't work out. And what's my point? It's not to talk down on those people. It's to say that they have something to share in their story that we're not exploring. Because we are ignoring the failure stories, we keep producing more failures. And so by continuing to perpetuate this success story, now I'm gonna use the rapper, right? When you think about this rapper success story, you'll have the same story again and again. Person grows up in the hood, they were into violence, they were maybe, doing some criminal activity, maybe even got shot, maybe went to jail, get out, and all of a sudden, bam, their music career takes off. So here's the problem with this story. Shout out to the people who made it. Always love to see people make it and overcome obstacles that they were faced. And I'm not saying those are not real stories. What I'm saying is we can't market this as the way to go. Because guess what? Most of y'all gonna go to jail and just stay there. Like we not telling the story of the dude that was rapping, selling dope, and just stayed in jail for the next 20 years. Don't know his kids. All that. We are not telling enough of the real story that is affecting most people. And so what's happening is there are these ideas that we are adopting relating to finances. So let me bring it home to finances. First, what is one of the things that we're doing? This causes us to overspend. So what do I mean? If you're looking at celebrities, right, and you watching the Met Gala, or you looking at your favorite celebrity's Instagram page, and you're trying to wear what they're wearing, okay, you trying to wear the Gucci jacket that 50 Cent has on. 50 Cent got $300 million. You don't have $35 in the bank. What am I trying to say? We keep perpetuating these images. It's causing us to adopt a mindset to overspend. So what does that mean? A lot of people from poverty like to show their money versus save their money. Wealthy people, I'm not talking about people who won the lottery in the rap, athletic, and entertainment. Like, these are rare people. Let's just talk about that. Like, I'm not about to be Denzel Washington. Like, that is 1 in a million person right there. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, 1 in a million people. So someone will become that. But my point is, we have to stop telling a lie that, everybody in the school is going to be that. No, you got a much better chance of becoming a doctor, a lawyer, a business person, a nurse. Like there's a bunch of other ways to make money and to grow and live a good life. It doesn't just have to be recreational. And that's the thing. We are selling recreation to our community and to our children as the only way that they can make it in life. And here's one of the problems. Recreation does teach you some things. Sport does teach you some things, but it also skews reality in a lot of ways. All right, so let me get back to my point. You overspend. You got nothing in the storehouse. So what does this mean? Like you don't got no money, no nothing saved up, no resources, because why? You trying to keep up with the Joneses. You trying to keep up with these people who make way more money than you. All right, cool. It's an all or nothing mentality. Like, so it's almost like if all I try to do is make it to the NBA and the chances are slim, it's like, well, I'm either gonna make it to the NBA or just do nothing. Like, like, like I'm not gonna do nothing, or I'm gonna struggle. And I'm not, listen to what I'm saying. I know some very successful people out there. I know people who went and played ball overseas, people who do coaching and all. Like, I'm trying to bring a sense of reality without talking bad on the people that actually do it and make it. This isn't about that. So please separate this from that. It's a low success rate, values popularity over everything. So what I'm trying to say is, as a foundational approach, you know, our communities from poverty have to find other things to market to our children as ways to make it out of poverty. And I believe we should start with things that give them a better probability of success, right? So it's like, at the end of the day, if somebody told you, hey, you got a 1 in a million chance to make $100 million, or you got a 1 in 1,000 chance to make $1 million, or you got 1 in a 250 chance to make $250,000. Like, what I'm saying is that, like, yeah, it's okay to shoot for the stars, but you got to realize that, what do you do if you don't hit it? What if you do if you don't make it? And I don't think we're building enough foundational tools starting at a young age, because we worship celebrities. And some of this is about, as Christians, right? Should we be doing this? As a Christian, should you be worshiping a celebrity? Should you be valuing someone simply based on their popularity, looks, amount of money, or success or awards they have, and completely ignoring character, completely ignoring godliness and righteousness, completely ignoring any of that, and just saying, hey, this person is popular, so they're successful, you should want to be like them? Or should we be having people in our local churches and our family and communities and teaching our kids, like, yo, you want to be like that, right? You want to learn. You don't want to just have recreation the rest of your life and think life is a joke. Now, I'm going to say this about athletes, because I don't think a lot of people think about this. This is something that I've observed about athletes, from being close to athletes and, growing up hooping and playing sports and stuff myself, although I never made it nowhere close to something important. Chris, what up, fam? How you feeling, man? Appreciate y'all in the comments. Much love. And hopefully y'all enjoy this episode. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. One of the things about athletes and entertainers that happens that we don't address enough as a Christian is that athletes live a life that is largely about self. So do entertainers. And I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm saying, as Christians, we got to be aware of lifestyles that are about us, and us. It can make you arrogant and puffed up and prideful. What do I mean by that? You watch athletes at a very young age. If you can jump high, if you're good at sports, people will be lenient with you in other areas. So whether it's classroom attendance, whether it's grades, a lot of things. Well, people will give you the benefit of the doubt. They will look over your faults. And that's how you get people like P. Diddy. That's how you get people like, what's the other dude name? R. Kelly. And, no offense to them, I'm not into the gossip and all that. Like, that's not the point. The point I'm making is that eventually the decisions that they were making that were being overlooked because of their talent ended up catching up with them and putting them in a place that you would never want to be. So what's my point? If your children are playing sports or athletics, we have to also be careful in putting them in positions where they're not having a realistic awareness and mindset around character development and productivity and godliness and righteousness. Like, yo, you should be still learning these foundational traits. We shouldn't be teaching kids, hey, as long as you're good at this, you can take advantage of people over here. Again, I know we don't want to talk about that kind of stuff, but it happens. My fam, Johnny, what up, bro? All right, so let me move to the second part of this episode. So first, foundationally, you're understanding, hopefully, that this mindset that we have around rappers, athletes, and celebrities, and like we're allowing it to corrupt our minds and how we think about building wealth. And like we just have a completely misconstrued like way of thinking about it, where we are trying to act like celebrities. I'm a regular person. I don't need to be trying to, walk around with material things to try to prove to you that I'm some rapper that you saw, that I could keep up with some rapper. Like at the Pistons game, I went to the Pistons game last week with my boy Kel and his sons, and my nephews, and we had a good time. One of the funniest things is it called the Swag Cam at Little Caesars Arena. I go to a lot of Pistons games, not a lot, here and there. And if you've never been to a Pistons game, Detroit, flashy place. We got this Swag Cam where they go around the stadium and everybody got their ice on. And you're gonna see it's a lot of rappers in Detroit, number one, so that's probably part of it. But like it's it get icy over here, like, and it get icy in Detroit, and it's like it's so cold in the D. It really is icy in Detroit, and I'm looking on the cam, and I'm like, no disrespect to people, because I see some nice chains out there. It's so ignorant. Like, it's so ignorant. I'm like, why is this the image we want to portray in Detroit? And look, no offense to the marketing team there, it works. It does a good job. I'm not hating on it, but it's also ignorant because of just the ideology and the way that it causes people to be. Like, why would you want to take your money and spend these chains, 20, 30,000, gotta be. I know it's some fake stuff out there, and I know about these lab diamonds as well that's cheap. So, maybe these the clone lab diamonds, but they look good. You know what I'm saying? They look real good. My point is, it also is a mindset that it perpetuates of like, you a regular person working a regular job like me, and you walking around with a $30,000 chain on, and you don't even have a life insurance policy. You don't have any assets saved up. If you lose your job tomorrow, you're going to be broke. And you walk around with a $30,000 chain. That is the mindset that I'm talking about that's messing us up. I feel that, Tonio, NIL. Yeah, that's a good point as well. That's a really good point. And it is a mind frame. All right, so let's move to the next part of this. So what I say all of that to say that a lot of us are chasing wealth, and we need to slow down. Before we chase wealth, we need to chase stability. Hold on. Pump the brakes. It's a good one. Before you chase wealth, you need to chase stability. So again, this is just me talking. I'm nobody. I'm just a person on the internet kicking it with you. But what I've seen is that everybody's only trying to hit home runs. And we're, again, I'm all for ambition and going after your dreams if they align with the Lord and what your purpose is and what he called you to do. I'm a very ambitious person. I've succeeded. I have failed more than I've succeeded. Trust me, I could share 100 failure stories with you and maybe one or two success ones. But here's what I know at the end of the day. And I had to learn this for myself. Yo, stop trying to hit home runs. What are home runs? They look good. Like, you see somebody hit a home run, they could take their time running the bases. They get to cheer. Everybody cheer for them, and you get to strut and show everything. And here's the problem with it, though, is you don't hit that many home runs. Baseball players play 140 games, and the best ones hit 60 home runs. I mean, most games you're not hitting a home run, but you need base hits to win the game. You just need to hit the ball. It don't have to go out the park. But the problem with us is we're trying to hit home runs because we want to show off. And we're not content with the Lord just working on us behind the scenes. We're not content with being low key. We want to be celebrities. We want wealth, but we don't want stability. What I believe that believers should be seeking is stability. Stability is more aligned to me with a biblical mindset of doing the right thing over time. Not just trying to hit a home run, but trying to make every swing count. Trying to put all your effort into taking small steps Like the Bible says, don't despise small beginnings, right? A lot of us despise small beginnings. We look down on people who starting small and just trying to get somewhere. We think we're better than them because they're starting small. When we don't realize, like, yeah, all them home runs you swinging at, bro, yeah, you ain't gonna hit all them home runs. And you might hit a couple, but then you got to front and fake and act like you hitting them all the time when in reality you're not. So stop chasing wealth and let's talk about stability. So now I'm going to kick it with you real quick before we get out of here about how you can build financial stability. We're going to do this by way of looking at this article on, what is this? Investopedia, I believe it is. This is dope article I came across today on Investopedia. And it actually has a lot of the concepts that I like to talk about. So we're going to use this article as a reference point to talk about some of these things that I believe people need to build stability. And then once you have stability, okay, yeah, cool. Then you can try to build wealth. Before I get into that article, let me say this. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to give an example about the importance of building your credit. And I have this conversation with people a lot of times. And I've sat down and had consultations with people in my family and poured my heart out. And I realized, like, man, people ain't trying to hear it. I can't really figure out why people not trying to hear it yet, but they're not trying to hear it. Here's the thing. I watch people, like, as an example, go and get cars. And cars are one of the things that keep us the most broke because we don't know how to shop for cars. And dealerships are very shady, grimy places. There's no offense if you own or work at a dealership, but y'all have some really grimy practices to take advantage of people purposely. I only know this because I've shopped for several cars and negotiated several deals for myself and my wife. And at the end of the day, it takes a lot of effort to be successful, but also a lot of education. And I can see where, wow, the common everyday person is coming in here and getting taken advantage of. But here's the thing. As an example, I watch people with bad credit who shop for cars based on the car they want. It's like, yo, I want this. And it's like, this draw to material things is so dangerous in our community, where it's like, it's no substance. It's just I just want something material. Like, even if I can't afford it. So what do? They go and take out loans with high interest rates because they don't have good credit. And they don't have the financial literacy to even be able to know, like, what their budget should be or how to navigate the negotiation. Because it is a negotiation regardless of how nice the salesperson is. And so what happens is people go and get high interest rate car loans. And then before the car is even paid off, it's breaking down. And now you need money to fix a car that you still owe on. And then so you try to go and get another car, and then they're going to roll the price because you're underwater in your loan. They're going to roll that money that you're underwater into another loan. And then you just keep washing, rinsing, and repeating the same process. And it's all because you never stop just to go build stability. What does stability look like? First, let's think about how you manage and pay off debt, right? Manage, pay off debt. Okay, cool. Save a little money. Okay, cool. Maybe invest. Okay, cool. At this point, you have a 750 credit score, which means you can go and get the best interest rate. You have money saved up, which means you can actually afford to go and get the car. And now, because you've learned these qualities and principles and built discipline, you're not going to get the car based on, oh, I want a BMW. You're just going to go overspend for a BMW without looking at the maintenance cost, the true cost to own over however many years you're going to have it. And without looking at the fact that, like, is there a Toyota that will last 250,000 miles and actually has some of the same technology and maybe a better option for me and more affordable for me? Or am I trying to get the BMW, going back to the rappers, celebrities, and athletes, because I want to keep up with what I saw on Instagram? I'm trying to break the chains of poverty by trying to convince you in your mind, because you know this is real, that we need to stop trying to compete with each other, stop trying to live up to a completely fake profile, like nothing real about it. You just trying to live up to the idea of success versus building stability and real success in the background and being content with whatever level God allows you to reach, and then reaching it, living it out, let everybody think whatever. Listen, I made up my mind a long time ago. Whatever you want to think. You want to think I'm broke? I'm broke. You want to think I'm rich? I'm rich. Whatever you want to think, it's your freedom. I cannot control your thoughts. And for me personally, the more I begin to free myself from what people think and focus on what is real, because you do realize that regardless of what y'all think about me right now, let's say you think I am just the most successful, I got super bread and whatever. If I don't, then I'm not. Like regardless of what you think, if I don't have it, then it's not real. And I think sometimes we treat people thoughts like reality, and we treat reality like they're just thoughts. At the end of the day, doggone back itching. Sorry, if you listening or heard the scratch, we gotta stop trying to live up to this fake idea of success. And so, what I want to try to encourage and challenge you to do is free yourself from the chains of poverty that says you have to drive this, that you got to wear Gucci or whatever. Man, listen, bro, y'all can have it. You got to understand something. Even if I have $2,000, I can't afford a $2,000 belt. In my mind, I watch some of the cars people drive, I watch some of the clothes people wear, and I'm like, bro, like you know what, buddy? You've made it. I don't know how you're doing it, but congratulations to you. And guess what? Some people really are out here doing it, and I have no problem with you doing it. My problem is with the people in our community who know good and well you don't have $65 in the bank and you're spending all your money every week, every month trying to impress people that might not like you anyway. You might not like me. This is what I realized. To the people out there who don't like me, and the people who like me, let's focus on the people who like me. If you truly like me, if you truly love me, do you care what brand this jacket is? You don't care if it's Furberry or Murberry. And more than likely, if I got it on, it's Murberry. No, I'm not wearing no fake. One thing I'm not doing, because I'm not wearing no fake stuff to impress y'all either. Not doing it. Not doing it. Not gonna happen. Just go to Target. Oh my God, we can't go to Target. Oh my God, I'm going to Target. I don't care what y'all talking about. All right, let's keep it moving. So, what up, though? Mama Peggy, how you feeling? All right, so let's jump into this Investopedia article because I want to show y'all that there are some ways to build wealth. All right, let's get this off the screen. Can we see this? How is this? How am I showing up on here? I want to show up differently. There we go. Let's do that. All right, so there's 7 ways to build wealth. All right, so first things first, 7 steps to start building personal wealth by Adam Hayes on March 19th, reviewed by Pamela Rodriguez and fact checked by Suzanne Kivelhog, I believe. No offense if I mispronounce any of those names. I want to just read a couple of things in this article because I think it's dope. So first things first, the key takeaways of this article, and these are going to be things that are going to help you on your journey to building stability, right? They're calling it wealth here, which it is, but we need stability first. Building wealth involves earning, saving, investing, and managing debt. Okay. Not just making it to the NBA, because even if you make it to the NBA, you need these things. Not just being an actor or a dancer or something, because you need these things. Repeat after me. I need these things. Regardless of how much money I make, I need to earn, save, invest, and manage. This literally will change your life. If you could just turn this podcast off. You don't have to listen to nothing else I say at all. This will change your life. Earning, saving, investing, and managing debt. Hold on, we're gonna pause here. Like, look, I'm gonna take the slow road to this. Earning, right? Saving, investing, manage. Well, I like to give life-changing tips. In this case, Adam Hayes is giving life-changing tips from Investopedia. Earning. All right, earning money. There's two ways to earn money. It's the labor, right? Like going to work, what most of us know, clocking in, and then there's the passive income, right? So some level of an investment or something that you have where you don't have to actually work labor, manual labor, or physical time. It's building in the background for you. So if you own a rental property and you get rent every month, that's passive income. Okay. So those are the two ways that you earn. Now, in my opinion, what we should be doing as it relates to building stability, and this goes back to thinking beyond being a rapper, a celebrity, or an athlete, you need to maximize your earning potential. Yes, maximize earning potential. What does that mean? You're 27 years old, you're 32 years old, whatever it is. What level of education do you have? What are you qualified to do? And so you're either already have a degree, already qualified for something, and you need to go after that career and you need to build yourself in it, or you need to look and be real with yourself and say, okay, I'm 32 years old. What can I do? What trade can I take on? What I would look at jobs that pay good amounts of money. Maybe it's a plumber, right? Let's use a plumber, right? Something like that I feel is regular but needed and not going anywhere anytime soon. So if you go and go to trade school to become a plumber, and then you master that, there is money to be made as a plumber. But if you got this twisted mindset to think that the only thing that is valuable or achievable or something worth being proud of in life is to be a rapper, a celebrity, or an athlete, then you will look down on opportunities that are there to bring stability to your life. I promise you, it's a plumber out here making crazy money because maybe they learned plumbing, the skill set, and then they learned and worked for someone and learned the business, and then maybe they started their own plumbing business, right? And then they became really prominent in a community, in a region, in a district, or across the country. There are plumbing companies everywhere. And I'm sure painting, another one. There, let me tell you something. My painter that I hire, first of all, I ain't hired him in like 2 years, but I done hired this dude a few times. Man, this dude, they do a great job. I mean, they gonna paint your house. It's gonna look beautiful. When I tell you, I'm like, paint cost that much? Hey, yo, paint cost that much? I would say his name, but I don't want to put him out there. Good guy, good guy, really good guy, respectful, does good business, but very, very, very expensive. I'm looking at him like, oh, you getting bread, huh? Because I just paid you. Well, I ain't gonna say the amount. I just paid you some money to paint, and you out here getting money, huh? Ain't you? You know what I'm saying? What's my point? We can build our skill set, maximize our earning, which means we need to teach our kids. Oh, I gotta tell y'all, get these kids some jobs. Get these children some jobs. Why am I focusing on the kids? Because we're talking about breaking the chains of poverty. Guess what? If you want to break chains, you need to break generational chains. Get those chains off your kids. Maybe you just decided, I'm going to just be a broke overspender for the rest of my life. Kudos to you. Congratulations. Arrivederci. Nice to meet you. At the end of the day, don't do it to your children, though. Don't do that to your grandchildren or your great grandchildren, whatever generation you own. I would, man, if the babies in your family, you need to be making up your mind right now. We breaking those chains. We are not just selling you. They could play sports. Don't get me wrong. Maybe you got the Michael Jordan in your family. I'm not hating on that. They can learn things from sports, but we need to diversify our education and learn more. And at the end of the day, when you learn more and expand your thinking beyond these simple things, then you will appreciate more. And you will realize, like, oh, wait, you could be a millionaire as a plumber. You can own a plumbing company. Wait a minute. I didn't know there was 500,000 there electricians out here, or 200,000 there, or whatever it is. Different numbers. I'm just making up numbers. But my point is this. There's more to life than just being a rapper or an athlete. There's 100 ways to be successful. But when you get these kids some jobs, instead of only thinking they're going to play a sport, then they develop skill sets outside of the sport. Maybe working in McDonald's is a simple communication skill set building. Like, I've been working since I was 13. And I know now I sound like the old person that's going to, my grandma used to tell these stories, still tell these stories about how she walked to school 20 miles in Alabama. I just started believing her last year. I had a serious conversation with her last year in her kitchen. And she like, was she 88? I'm like, the more I think about it, I'm like, they probably did walk a good 10 miles to school. You know what I'm saying? In the 1940s. I'm actually starting to believe in 1936, 1946, they might have been walking 10 miles to school, right? My point is, I've had a job since I was 13. Every year since I was 13. Maybe I missed one year, but I've been working since I was 13 years old. 13 years old, I was working as a janitor's assistant. I worked at Wayne State University in the summer program, and they would pair me every day with one of the janitors, and I would be his assistant for the day, washing windows, mopping floors, all those type of things, right? I worked at McDonald's when I was 15. I worked at McDonald's when I was 18. At the end of the day, when I was 15 years old working at McDonald's, I was standing at the front cashier. I was counting money and communicating with people for their orders, right? That taught me how to count money, how to deal with the pressure of the line being long, and how to communicate with the public. By the time I was in my 20s, I was working in banking. And I'm just making a correlation. When I worked in banking, I was a teller and a loan processor and a marketing liaison at the branch that I worked at. And guess what? I'm communicating with the public, dealing with money, larger scales of money. That's the job I had, where I learned, like, oh, people get really sensitive about their money. You get people coming in here that got $1 million in the bank, 500,000 in the bank. That's also where I learned, because when you work in banking, you can see who has the money and see who just has the aura. And so I would see the people walk in with the aura, and they got and it's gonna be like aura. That's how they talking. When you got the aura and you talking like aura. Let me get $5 or $10. Okay. Then I watch the person coming here with the biscuits on their feet, looking toe up, and he like, yeah, I'm gonna take out 10,000. I'm like, okay, Mr. Dirty Adidas. I mean, them Adidas was dirty, but the boy had money. What's my point? It's that, yeah, that's facts. That's why I got that hustle. I've been working since I was a kid. My point is, we need to put our kids out there so they could build a skill set and learn how to do things. So you got earning, saving. Oh man, saving is really tough for us, because the reason some of us will never have money is because we can't save money. If you can't save money, you can't have money, no matter how much money you have. Some of us, money burns a hole in your pocket. As soon as you got it, you spend it. But you have to have the discipline and the ability to put up money for the future. Like Joseph did when he took the resources and saved them during the 7 years of famine, or the 7 good years, and put them up for the 7 years of famine. And then they had extra. He saved 20% of the resources and food that they were bringing in. And in that way, 7 years later, when things went bad, they had money to lean on. But in order to save that 20%, you have to have the discipline not to spend it on unnecessary things. Some of us do so much unnecessary spending. It's not that we're broke because we don't have money. We're broke because we can't keep it. All right, cool. Investing. We're going to talk about that in a second. And then debt management, money management. We have to know how to pay off debt. At the end of the day, you should not have on a pair of Cartier $3,000 frames and you owe $1,500 to the light company for some bill that's on your credit, bringing your credit down. You got poor money management skills. All right. And I'm not saying that to talk down on you. I'm just telling the truth. All right. Let's go back to this article that we were looking at with Investopedia. All right. Let's keep it moving. Set financial goals like retirement, home buying, or education funding. Retirement, home buying, education funding, goals. Listen, people, we have to set goals. At the end of the day, if you want to break poverty, you're not just going to break it by mistake. You're not going to break the chains of poverty by not having a plan. If you have not sat down, had a conversation with yourself or your spouse or your children, your family, we should be normally having conversations about finances. What moves are we making? What's working? What's not working? Where can I improve efficiencies? The problem with us is this: we don't like having conversation. We don't like talking. Oh, just let me do what God led me to do. Hold on, bro. If God led you to do it, why are you 6-7 years in? Wait a minute. And still not managing it properly? You buying watches and gold chains and diamond chains with the money you were supposed to be reinvesting. If God told you to do it, then that's more of a reason to sit down and have goals and have benchmarks in mind and keep score. We don't want to keep score because we know we losing. And at the end of the day, if you don't keep score, you're never going to be motivated enough to turn it around. This is about motivating you, convincing you that the chains of poverty have been holding you back and it's time to break them. I'm trying to change your thinking. Only you could really change your mind. I'm just trying to give you new things to think about. All right. I know y'all don't like this. This is not good. This is a horrible show. This is not good. This is not good content at all. Do not share this. Do not tell anyone about it. It's horrible. All right. Diversify investments and mitigate risk. So let's look at some of the things in this article. I'm just going to talk about a couple things. Building wealth takes time, effort, and discipline. The good news is that anyone can follow proven strategies to grow and preserve wealth over the long term. The earlier you begin, the better your chances of success. All right, I know people don't like this kind of stuff because we want to think that, oh, that's you. Oh, you work here. You make this amount of money. Oh, you lucky. They gave you this. No. Investopedia, you know what I'm saying? They said anybody could build wealth. I've read a lot of wealth books. The common thread in every piece of wealth related material that I continue to read is, unlike the NBA, anybody can do it. See, anybody can't make it to the NBA. Anybody can't be the next American Idol. It can only be one. Anybody cannot be the next Denzel Washington. Not going to happen. Not anybody. You can even be a successful actor and you're not going to be that. So what's my point? Why we keep trying to put all our effort into the thing that it's like 99% of us ain't even going to be able to do it. And the thing that anybody can do, build wealth. Anybody can build wealth in America. And when I say anybody, I understand. Don't hit me with all of the extreme circumstances. I'm not even going to give no examples because I don't want to make fun of extreme circumstances. What's my point? We talking about you. Don't give me no excuses. Don't give me no excuses. If you walking around with Gucci, Louis, Prada, Nike, Jordan, whatever else, all these name brands, if you wearing that, don't tell me you can't build wealth. It said anybody can do it, but it takes time, effort, and discipline. And at the end of the day, a lot of us don't want to have time, effort, and discipline. We don't want to put in time. We want it to happen quick. We're impatient, even though the Bible says, let patience have her perfect work. Like that means like patience brings a completeness to a situation. But we don't want to believe the Bible. We don't want to, think that it applies to other stuff. Like maybe I can't be inspired about the Bible and finances and somebody going to think, oh, that means you chasing money or whatever. No, I'm just trying to tell you that there's a more patient and complete way to go about building your wealth, and that the Bible can inspire you in different areas of your life. And that maybe if I stop trying to hit home runs and keep up with the Joneses and prove to everybody that I'm fake successful and just actually be developed in the background and build something real, maybe I'll never have 100 million or 200 million or 1 million or whatever, but I will have more than enough if I'm doing what God told me to do. It's similar to the parable of the talents, where he only gave you 1 talent, he gave you 2, he gave you 5, but he gave you 1, and that was enough for you to survive because that was according to your own gifts, abilities, resources, and things of such. But we don't want that. You know the last part Investopedia just said on that? I appreciate the love. They said the earlier you start, the greater your chance of success. So why am I talking about breaking the chains of poverty for your children? It's because maybe you feel like it's too late for you. No problem. I don't want to convince you. I don't want to argue with you because you too set in your ways. I've learned that dealing with adults in many cases feels like a waste of time. I'm not saying it's a waste of time. I love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. But the kids are impressionable. What if you taught your children right now, instead of buying them every PlayStation 5, every pair of Jordans, every pair of headphones that they all why do they walk around in headphones all day? Why do the kids walk around like this? I don't have children. Y'all got to educate me. My nephews and nieces walk in the room and I don't know if I can talk or not because I don't know if you actually listening to something. And that's probably the point. They don't want to talk. You need a job at McDonald's to force you to talk to people because you act like you can't talk. All of them walk around here. I ain't talking about no one of them. I'm talking about all of them. So if some of my family watching this, don't think it's your kid. Know it's your kid and the other kids too. Everybody's sensitive. I ain't talking about nobody. I'm talking about everybody. So at the end of the day, I got 20 nieces and nephews. So look, it's about 6 or 7 of y'all that do that. And I still love you, but you still do that. And you act like you can't talk and you need to learn how to talk. Like the kids need to communicate. They need to actually be able to speak up and talk. Like, and my whole point with all of this is that the earlier you start, the more chance that you have to be successful. So if us as adults and leaders and parents and uncles and aunts, if we cultivate these children, we will start breaking the chains of poverty in our life. If we stop teaching our kids that Jordans and PS5s is the greatest things in life and tell them about mutual funds or ETFs or stocks. But you know, the problem is we haven't taken the time to learn it. So we can't teach them anything. So guess what that means? We're going to keep producing poverty. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children and his children's children. Now, maybe your inheritance, maybe you don't got the money, but maybe you got the education to break them chains. Because you're a good man, you're a good woman, right? That's what the Bible say. I didn't say that. I think we ignore stuff. We don't want to read that. We don't want to know that. So we act like it's not there, but it's there. It says it, a good man. I don't know what to tell you. At the end of the day, we need to break the chains of poverty with these children, but it starts with you. I can't get to some of the kids because the parents, y'all letting them listen to the ignorant rap. Y'all letting them watch ignorant stuff. I walk in people's house sometimes. I'm like, man, you let your kids watch that? You watch that while the kids there? No offense. I'm not here to judge you, but I'm here to tell the truth. All right, let's go back to this article real quick. And I'm about to wrap this up like a Christmas gift. Wrap it up, bruh. This ain't good. Y'all don't like this kind of stuff. I know that people don't like it. You probably hate me after listening to this. All right. So number one, from according to Investopedia about how to build wealth, maximize your income. We talked about that already. Earned income and passive income. Maximize your income. Start early. All right, let's keep it moving. Go to this yourself if you want. Strategic goal setting and planning. We talked about it. You have to have clear financial goals are essential for wealth building. Whether you aim to retire early, buy a home, or pay for your children's college, setting specific, measurable, and time-bound goals will help guide your financial plan. Come on, people. Define your goals, create a plan, and review regularly. I like the part that says review regularly. Some of us set a goal, have a vision party, have a whole conference and event. Oh, look, I put a house on a piece of construction paper. That's my vision. And we never revisit it. You put that house on that piece of construction paper 6.5 years ago, don't got the house, ain't saved for the house, forgot what color the house was, didn't start the account, didn't read a book about a house, and you still got the vision board in the basement. Go and rip the vision board in half tonight. Rip it in half and start over. Because you got to be real with you. Don't lie to yourself. That wasn't your real vision. That was just some stuff you saw somebody else say. You need to go and have your own real vision, your own real goals, according to where God is leading you, according to being inspired by his word, his purpose in your life, and then hold yourself accountable to those goals. See, the reason a lot of us don't want to set goals is because we don't want to have accountability. If I don't set a goal, then I don't have to track a goal. That's how we thinking. But if you set a goal, you know in the back of your own mind, like, ooh, I said I was going to do that. I ain't doing it. I ain't going to do it. Y'all know if you set a goal, you got to hold yourself accountable. You have to go and review those goals. So I'm going to give you an example, right? Let's say you said I wanted to save $10,000 in 2026. That's a very achievable goal for most people. But then you get to June and you only got 3,000. Now here's the good thing. You are better than zero. You did start along the way, but you didn't keep going. And now upon reviewing, you like, ooh, I still need $7,000, but it's only 6 months left. Well, that means that you might have to repurpose how you were saving and save even more to reach your goal. But it's about having measurable and attainable goals, because some of us just throw goals in the air out of nowhere, right? We just say the most extreme thing. I'm gonna have 3 yachts. You you think? Well, uh, uh, right now, mm, I'm not gonna say it, but you don't got 3 yachts. I'm gonna keep it nice. And so we throw out these extreme goals that we never actually plan to meet because we're lazy and we don't want accountability. All right. But when you plan to work the goals that God put in front of you, this is how you start breaking poverty. You start having goals and then tracking those goals and revisiting those goals and having some accountability. And you might fall like me. Like I write goals down, I have goals, and then I get busy. And then something happens. And guess what? I revisit it, I refresh, and I start again. The thing is just keep doing it until you get there. None of us are perfect. None of us have some extremely perfect life. I'm not some perfect individual on the internet that just seems like, oh, isn't he just great? Oh my gosh, isn't he amazing? That's what we want. Stop doing that. I'm not here to lie to you. Like, it's stupid. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. It's stupid. None of us are just this amazing. You just really did wake up in the morning looking like that. Some of y'all, you just look good, I guess, and that's okay because some people do look good. Some of us got to work to look decent. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't just wake up looking like this. It took some extra work. All right. All right. So let's keep it going. And I'm about to be out of here. Y'all don't like this. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna just quit. Nobody wants to see this or hear this. Strategic goals, effective saving strategies. Track your spending at least once a month. Cut unnecessary expenses. That's the one. That's it. This is where I'm going to end it. This is how we wrap it up. If you want to build stability, it's a very easy way to start. Cut unnecessary spending. I'm going to be honest with you. What was it now? 2012 when I started on my path of financial literacy. Yeah, it was the end of 2012. And that was the first thing I had to do. The first thing I had to do, me and my wife, was cut unnecessary spending. Now, it's crazy to think that that was 14 years ago now. That time flies, but that's also in a positive way of like, man, you can do the right thing. Sometimes we think like, oh, 5 years is too long to wait to build something. 10 years too. You're gonna look up and the time gonna be and went anyway. So you might as well try to do the right thing with the time because time ain't gonna wait. But the first thing we had to do was cut unnecessary spending. And I've talked about this 100 times on the show, but in case you just are listening for the first time, people laughed at me. People thought I was overdoing it. I remember, the family used to hit Applebee's after church, and I started saying we can't afford it. Like, y'all can't afford a 2 for $20? You wow, bro. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now we getting too far. I ain't gonna say it. I can get the 2 for 20 now if they still make them. But that took a lot of work. That's the truth. And some people still can't get the 2 for 20 because they never want to actually stop the unnecessary spending. So I had to stop unnecessary spending for a few years. Me and my wife were not buying new shoes. It was a lot we couldn't do. Even she was looking at me crazy in the beginning, like, bruh, like, what you on? Like, you show? And I was like, nah, we can't do it. People went on trips, we couldn't go. People, I had no J's for a few years. I had no new clothes. This is the thing about it. Like, I mean, I know how to, you know what I'm saying? I know how to make stuff work. So it might not have been that obvious, but if you paid close enough attention, you're like, he ain't had no new shoes in a minute. Yeah, I wasn't buying new shoes. I stopped being as worried about what everybody thought about me. I know how to dress. That's cool. I just can't afford to dress. So when I get some money, I'll be all right. What's my point? A lot of us, we are victims of our own emotional, um, stressful, traumatic spending. And I'm not here to judge you for it. I'm just trying to convince you that it's time to change. And it's time for you to think about your life differently if you want to break the chains of poverty in your life. And if you want to have a real sustainable, right, future, and you don't want to have to work until you're 100, and you don't want to have to stress yourself out over bills and barely making it every month. You don't have to make it to the NBA. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be the next Denzel Washington. just to have stability. And maybe once you have stability, you will be on the pathway to brick by brick, step by step, building wealth. But throughout that process of building, the beautiful thing about it is your mind will change. And you will start having the ability to control your money instead of your money controlling you. You'll be able to walk in stores where you can afford anything and buy nothing. You'll be able to start looking at things where you could spend more money, but you understand the value of the longevity of what you're trying to build. And because you revisit your goals and because you have a broader purpose that may be even bigger than yourself, that you like, you know what? I mean, talking about you, not me, could buy the $2,000 jacket, but this $200 jacket, which is still really nice, is going to be fly. I'll buy that and put the 1,800 up in the bank right now. I'll put that up and let that grow 5% year over year, right? And then we start building, right? And throughout this process, as your life starts changing, your mind starts changing, and you start realizing that, oh, I didn't have to hit all home runs. I didn't have to be famous. Nobody had to know what I was doing. I just had to do it. Anybody can build stability. Anybody could change their mind. But you have to control your spending. You have to eliminate unnecessary spending. More importantly, you got to change your mind to see yourself as who God created you to be. Made in his image, right? Fearfully and wonderfully. You're not made in the image of BET or MTV or whatever awards come up. You're not made in the image of the Met Gala. I never need to walk around with a cat on my head or whatever else these people wear. More power to them. I understand it's a thing. It raises charity for something. I don't know what. Hopefully it's good. I'm not here to judge it. I'm just here to tell you that I don't want to dress like that. I don't need a 40,000 square foot house to be happy. It actually makes no sense. It's actually ridiculous. My point is that some of us are just throwing goals out there that are lustful goals. Our goals are just lustful desires in our heart that don't align with what God called us to do or even wants us to do. We just want it. You know, Solomon built the temple for God. We want to build a temple for ourselves. And that's the big difference is, are you building and doing what God called you to do? Or are you building your own temple with your own purpose that's unnecessary and doesn't even please the Lord? Maybe God wanted you to do more with your money, help more people, manage it better, but you can't even help nobody because you're overspending for yourself. You can't even get stability in your own life. How can you help someone? You know, when you're on the airplane, right? I fly and travel a lot. And when you're on the airplane, they say the same speech every time. The safety. It's, hey, in case of emergency, make sure you put your own mask and your own life jacket on before you try to help someone else. You have no stability if you're not set. You can't help anyone. And some of us we're actually broke ourselves. This is actually one of the main problems in the community. We're broke. We're financially illiterate and we have no stability. And yet we're trying to help other people. And there's this weird thing that happens in poverty where people think that if you love me, you got to give me your money. Huh? Oh, wow. This is a new one. Okay, wow. Wait, so if I love you, right? Let's just say you were an alcoholic. If I love you, I have to value alcohol. And why do I say this? No, I say this because some people have a money problem. Money is their drug. Money is the thing that they are sick with. I don't have to give a sick person money. You're sick. You're sick. You need a remedy. You need to change your mind. You need to change your thinking. You're sick. You're enslaved by your lustful desires, by materialistic things, and by the images that you're watching all day on social media and TV. If you just watch something all day long, you believe it. You want to be like it. Hopefully this helps somebody and don't make y'all hate me. Made in the image of God, not the celebrity image. It's crazy. I listened to a song. A rapper said, if you don't turn that TV off, you'll be dreaming forever. You'll never get your life together. That's a fire bar. What up, Meech? At the end of the day, man, I really do believe we need to turn off the TV, turn off the phone sometimes, and start working on our own lives. It's one of the reasons why I think it's somewhat of a sickness to wake up every day on social media having opinions about what everybody else is doing, knowing good and well in my own life I haven't taken the necessary steps to make improvement and build stability. Hopefully, this is one little small step that you could take, one episode that you could share with a friend or a family member to be like the seed planted to potentially start changing your mind and changing the trajectory of your life and maybe even more importantly your children's lives, because these kids now they faced with a whole lot different than what I was faced with. Like, I mean, it's robots coming for the jobs, y'all. Like, they coming. They're coming. Their robots are pretty much here. And I don't believe in being fearful, but let's just be honest about, like, well, if the robots they building robots to work, they're already cutting jobs across all corporations everywhere, and our kids don't even want to work. It's like, yo, if you want to break these chains, you better break them now. Because these children are faced with things you aren't faced with. And sometimes I think we raise kids like they live when we lived. No, your kids and grandkids ain't living in a time where you just play outside up and down the street and it's safe and it's cool. They got different things that they're facing. It's time for you to stop being naive. It's time for you to be responsible and decide to be the adult in the room and think about how can we help not just the children, but each other grow and expand our thinking and our minds. But in order to do it, we have to learn. And in order to learn, we got to put aside our pride. Some of us can't learn from people because we're too prideful. I never understand prideful poverty. That's what I should have named this episode. Prideful poverty. It's always been an interesting thing to me. Like, why are you so prideful and you're financially illiterate? Like, when I was financially illiterate, I was just a sponge trying to learn. I read so many books and listened to so many interviews. I wanted to learn from people who had done it. But I realized, like, in our community, for some reason, if you talk to people, even though I come from where you come from, I was where you are. And I'm not saying I'm so far ahead of you now. I'm just far enough that I want to share. I'm far enough that I care to be like, I need somebody else to take this because I don't want these chains of slavery and poverty to continue to hold us back. So hopefully this blesses somebody. You enjoy it, share it, like it, comment, all those things. Much love to everybody that checked it out. And I'll be back one of these days, man. Living a busy life. Try to get these pods in whenever I can, randomly. Y'all keep me in your prayers. But things are going well. Just living the corporate life, man. Started a new job this year, December, really. And it's a really expanded role from what I was doing before. And covering a large business, covering a larger team, and I'm committed to doing well. And I take my leadership in corporate America very seriously because I believe it's something that God blessed me with. And so I treat it the way I would treat ministry. I treat it the way that I would treat anything, working as unto the Lord and giving it my all. And that just means that, hey, sometimes I don't have the time that I would want or need to be in a creative space to do these podcasts and things, but I'm not giving up on it. I'm gonna continue to do it and seek the Lord on like what exactly this should be. But y'all keep me in y'all prayers and hopefully y'all enjoy these episodes, man. Much love. I appreciate y'all so much. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing day.